Hey all, welcome to the first Shoot Your Shot Saturday. I'm hosting on the Coffee Shops and Sunny Spots channel. That's a mouthful, so that's why I kind of like work the pronunciation there. So welcome. So you saw the teasers already on YouTube Shorts, hopefully. Really, this segment of the show is going to be basically just me interacting with you, all the viewers and the audience, between here and like my Instagram page, just taking ideas and comments and things that you want me to talk about. Again, from a regular guy's perspective, who just again, I'm not an expert in anything, but have a lot of life experience and done a lot of broad things in my life that I think makes me uniquely qualified to talk about a great deal of things. So today we're not in a sunny spot or coffee shop. We're actually in the home, in the house here. Um, it's cloudy and gloomy outside in Ohio right now. We had hail a few minutes ago, thunder, lightning, but then it was like 60 degrees earlier. Now it's kind of cold again. It's Ohio. That's what happens, especially near the lake. So that's all right because that's why we have warm, fuzzy drinks to keep us going. So with that said, let's talk about what we're gonna shot today. Okay, that it's fine. It's fine. So we have a Southern Tier smoked bourbon. It's one of my favorites actually. That's kind of local. It's a regional brewery. So they have breweries in 3 states. I'm not sure full breweries, but they have locations. I think the main one's in Pittsburgh and New York, but New York, Pittsburgh, and then Cleveland they have one in. And I think like the bourbons and things like that, some of the bottled stuff, like the beer you can get everywhere, and they have them in different stores. But like this, I actually had to get this from New York. So some of the places don't carry the bottled stuff or seasonal and things like that. So it's not any kind of like crazy. I mean, it's a mid tier. I mean, it's not super expensive or anything like that, but I like it. Like, there's other stuff that's higher end bourbons we may have on the channel. Like, it just depends. Like, this is a Saturday afternoon. Like, it's March Madness today. I'm going out later on, uh, so I may drink some higher end stuff then. But at home, you know, it just depends. This is good. This is fine. It's smooth. You don't have to mix it with anything. You don't have to chase it with anything. So it's great. And I got this perfect little glass I got for Christmas presents. This presents. It was a set actually with the stones in it and everything. So this is actually designed to sip versus a shot. But hey, we're gonna make it work. Cause I think it looks good on camera. So today we're actually gonna get into it. So the first question, and again, as I mentioned, I love people send me stuff on here going forward. But starting out, before I had the channel going, I had folks on Instagram send me questions and comments. So a lot of my friends, and naturally how these things start, usually friends coming together to help each other out, which is really wonderful, and that's how it should be in life. Hopefully, eventually, strangers start helping me out, and the channel grows certainly, and then you become friends, and then you tell your friends who are strangers to me, and so forth and so forth. But what happened here is they had sent a question in. My friend from Shetland with Love. I'm sorry, from Shetland with Love. So I'm a part of a James Bond community because I'm a Bond nerd, and we can talk about that one day, probably on the main blogs on that hobbies and interests. But um, with this one, I'm gonna do better not saying a lot, but this is real. Like I said in the main vlog, you already saw that I talk about that. Like, I'm not gonna do a bunch of takes. Like, we're people talking to people. Like, this is not professional setup yet. I'm not. So you got me. I said yet, but one day it will be. Hopefully a little bit bigger and better channel. I'm gonna try get what the audience likes. So yeah, it's just gonna be real. So from Shetland with Love. So give them a follow on Instagram, definitely. I'm gonna shout out anybody gives me a question or comment. If you have a business or a channel page yourself, if you give me something, I use it, I will shout you out. Um, so from Shetland with Love. So and that's from. It's all one word, but from then Shetland with love. Okay. So we'll get into Bond stuff later. So ask me the first question. So the first question is of this channel, the inaugural show. You always seem to have fun new hobbies. What's the next one you are going to start? That's a great question because that's part of the reason I started this channel is because of all the crazy things I do. And my friends are always like, yeah, you should do a channel. And while we're talking, so you should do a channel. Like, okay. I don't know much about it. I always watch YouTube like everybody else, learn stuff. I'm like, all right, I can do a channel. No, this isn't that bad, not that scary. I have a background in marketing, things like that. I've done some modeling and acting back in the day. Done a lot of different things in my life. That's again I can talk to intelligently too. We'll get into all those other crazy things too that you probably would not expect for me to say I've done, but you probably tell about a haircut and start guessing some of those hobbies. But anyhow, so yeah, so with new hobbies and challenges, I would say from what I want to do next, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably flying. I always said I wanted to be a pilot. As far as fun, when I was in high school, I started doing career day and things like that. I knew I wanted to go into like the military at the time, and so I wanted to do like West. I wanted to go officer corps. So I wanted to go West Point. It was my goal, or the Naval Academy. Um, so I wanted to be if I went in the Army, it was going to be aviation as well. It was going to branch was my plan at the time. Those plans changed from what I ended up doing, but still, we'll get there. I was going to fly gunships or whatever, right? So I always wanted to fly. I was fascinated with space. My first major in college originally was physics, and I always had that career path. So I wanted to work at NASA. But it always plagued me. It's always loomed on me. Like I said, I want to fly. So a couple times I've gotten started the tentative steps towards that, where I went and got the information on private lessons, and there's an airport near us that does that. Kind of racking the cost up and how that would work out and all that would pan out. But yeah, I end up not pulling the trigger on it yet. I did take one flying lesson though, so I'm gonna need another sip for this. So down in West Virginia, good old West Virginia. I was down on a trip with a friend, a motorcycle trip, and riding around. Went to the Mothman Festival actually. No, so I wasn't on my motorcycle. I've been many times, but this time no, I drove. Mothman Festival, right? All right, I forget what part of Point Pleasant that's in Virginia, West Virginia, or if that's on the Ohio side, but in that area, right? Mothman. So down there, coming back from the festival, I amped up like this is the greatest thing ever. It's kind of nerdy or whatever, but it was fun. See a field like it was just a field, it looked like a farm and stuff. See a sign, wooden sign in the field. Flying lessons, $20. Flying lessons, $20. Yeah. So drove the road and asked my friend who's from around there, like, is this legit? Like, what are they talking about? No one's getting an airplane for $20, right? I'm like, this has to be like, no, no, no. People have planes, they do stuff. I'm like, what? Like, okay. Go up there, get up the field up the road, and it was legit. Like there was a hangar bay there, like an old fashioned silver hangar bay. And with the hangar bay, they had like a bigger, like old vintagey style plane. Like it looked like something like World War II, maybe. Like it had the props and stuff on it, but it looked like it was something maybe an earlier commercial plane or earlier private, I don't say jet, but like a private plane. I'll use that term. Um, and they had like a smaller, like Cessna style or whatnot. I think I saw maybe a crop duster and things like that. So it was kind of legit. It had like solid runway. It wasn't part of a cornfield. It actually was paved. And so the guys like come up and I see the pilot walking. I'm like looking around. Okay, this has got to be a joke. Pilot walks out. Right, I'm thinking it's a pilot. The silver-haired older lady walks out, super slow and everything. Like, hi, how you doing? I look. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting on this airplane. Like, absolutely not the kid. Like, I'm not taking lessons. Not to say someone that age bracket can't fly, so I had not flown in the past and probably is really good at what they do. But for a $20 airplane ride, you just don't chance that. You don't. I want the guy who looks like they got the bomber jacket on and looks like a like a Tuskegee Airman or somebody. Or looks like Maverick even. Like I want somebody who looks the part, like they know what they're doing actually. So a guy comes out or whatever. It's her son actually. And he's the one teaching the lessons. So yeah, he was. He actually flew planes for FedEx, I believe, or UPS. One of them he flies their planes for. So he's reputable. It's a small airstrip, and they really the idea of the $20 things just to get you up there, let you see it. You get excited and like I want to take my lessons. Part of the lessons you could do at that place, which I was trying to figure that out because it was like 5 hours away, but they had like a summer program. So I'm like, all right, I can go down summertime. When it's warm, I can ride my motorcycle. I'll save on gas or whatever. Just ride down, take the lessons. But you had to do ground school somewhere else. So I could do ground school here in Ohio, which is like I forget how many hours of it, but it's all book work basically. So I can get the books and just study on my own, pass that part, and then do the flying down there for how many hours you need. They provide the plane, the fuel. It was actually not horrible, the pricing. Again, I was so busy with everything else with work and stuff like that. A lot of traveling around doing different projects that it's just hard to do that, especially to travel to West Virginia on a consistent basis during the summer. So that's in a nutshell. I would like to fly actually, so it's still on my list. I might take it back up at the local airport. It's a little bit more expensive here, obviously in Ohio, but I actually did click with the guy down there. He did let me fly. Like we went up, had the two separate sticks or where the yokes, and I mean I got to take control of the plane while under his guidance. He just told me like, don't look down, don't look. And I'm actually looking, and as I look, he's letting me hold the yoke, and the plane's tipping. I'm like, whoa! And so he's like, no, just pull it back over. You're fine. Like he was controlling like the throttle and stuff, so he wasn't gonna let me obviously barrel roll or do anything crazy. But it was an experience. I got some amazing aerial photography, which I might post on my Instagram page just to see tie it together. That's my niche. I can do photography pretty well. So another hobby I have we'll talk about one day maybe. So yeah, I'll wrap this video up now. So stay tuned for the next segment. Next week we'll have again a different topic, a different question. And I think the question for that one was politics, which is not going to be what you think of my response to that, what we're going to talk about, but I may actually make a cocktail for that. But the way I'm going to tackle that one is going to be how do you navigate in this day and age politics with talking with friends and things like that without ticking anybody off and not them hitting you with the bottle versus drinking drinking with you. So stay tuned for that. It was a great time, great chat. So hope to see you all again. Take care.